Welcome to Be Me with Shari Ware, the podcast where each day is a step towards a better you and where we focus on progress, not perfection. Join me as we embark on a journey of self-improvement and wellness, focusing on being just a little better than we were yesterday. Hello. Welcome to episode 35 of the Be Me podcast. My name is Shari Ware. I'm your host, and this is part 2 in a series called Self-Care for Busy People. And this particular episode is on easy hydration hacks for better health and mental clarity. So the amazing Jim Kwik said hydration is key to staying alert, focused, and energetic. Now, if you don't know who Jim Kwik is, he is amazing. He was called the boy with the broken brain. He had a brain injury as a child, and they said that he would struggle with learning for his entire life. And basically, he proved them wrong. He taught himself how to learn. And everybody can do that. We can all learn how to learn. It is a skill. It is a learned skill. And some of the things that he can do with his brain are just amazing. And if you haven't already come across him, you definitely want to check him out. So I'll make sure that I put the link to his book, Limitless, in the show notes for you. And you can check that out further. Now, in this episode, we're talking about hydration habits. Why is it important? We're going to cover off on why is it important, some good hydration habits to implement, and some signs of dehydration. And so let's start with why is it important? So staying hydrated is actually one of the most important things that we actually need to do for our health. And it's actually one of the easiest, really, when you think about it in the scheme of things. We actually have to drink water to survive. So it's the rule of 3. It's 3 minutes without air, thereabouts, depending on the person. If you've got super lungs, then it might be a bit longer, but generally 3 minutes without air. 3 days without water, and can be much longer without food, depending on how much food you've got stored on your body. But point being made that we can go a lot longer without food than we can with water. And water is actually essential to move the things around our body to get where they need to get to. If we are even mildly dehydrated, it can lead to symptoms such as fatigue, mood swings. We don't concentrate as well. We've got poor concentration. And over time, it does actually impact your health. So we don't want that to happen. It doesn't matter how busy we are. There's some really simple ways that you can get more hydration into your life and to also improve the quality of the hydration that you're getting. So let's get started on how you can do that. So first of all, starting the day with a glass of water is definitely something that you want to do. When you think about it, it doesn't matter how long you've slept for, whether it's 6, 8, 9 hours. You've just come out of a sleep where you've been sleeping and you haven't been drinking. So when you wake up in the morning, your body definitely needs water. It is a bit dehydrated, and you want to be getting water into you as quickly as you can. And if you get a glass of water into you when you first wake up, there's 1 down and only however many more to go. So get that first one over and done with first thing in the morning when you wake up, and that will help to rehydrate your body, kickstart everything that it needs to kickstart, get things moving again in your body, and prepare your mind for the day ahead. It's also going to help with your digestion and flushing out any toxins that have accumulated overnight, because when you're resting, that's when your body is repairing. Now, over the day, throughout the day, I know that especially when you're really busy, it can be really difficult to remember to drink water, especially if you're not used to it. I actually drink water all the time. I don't have to remember to drink it. Um, Unfortunately, there are some times when it's just not possible. If I'm going on a long drive or something, I don't drink as much water. I've actually started recently traveling in my camper van, and I find on the days when I'm driving, I definitely don't drink as much water, because what happens when you drink a lot of water is you need to go to the toilet. And as much as we do need to have breaks, every half an hour on a long road trip is not really very helpful. But when I am in a place where um, I'm stable and I can just go about my daily business and get my stuff done, I always have water and I'm continually drinking. Um, that's just a habit that I've gotten into. If you're not already in that habit, here are some ways that you can create the habit easier. So you can set reminders on your phone, set alarms on your phone, say for every half an hour, to have a drink of water. You can set yourself goals or challenges to maybe finish one or two bottles before lunchtime, or three bottles. Depends. Start out slow. If you're not drinking much water now, then don't try and go from zero to 5 liters in a day. That's not realistic and achievable. And what happens when we try and do too much at once? We may last a little while, but eventually we give up because it's too hard. So don't do that. Just start out small. If you're not drinking much now, just set yourself a small goal that maybe you'll drink, 2 glasses before lunch or 3 glasses before lunch. Don't even go to bottles if that's too much. But if you're having one first thing in the morning, that's one done. So you've only got to have another couple before lunch. So that's definitely doable. So set yourself goals. Um, Making sure that you are consistently drinking water over the day improves your physical and your cognitive function. It's not like it's not going to work as well if you get to the end of the day and think, oh, I haven't drunk all my water today, and scull all the water that you haven't drunk. Number one, if you're doing that just before you go to bed, you're not setting yourself up for a good night's sleep, because you're going to have to get up and go to the toilet a lot. But your body needs consistent water. So put post-it notes around the place, have bottles of water wherever you're going to see them, whatever you're going to do that's going to help you remember to drink water. What I used to do when I was first starting to get into the habit of drinking more water, because it's something that I had to create the habit as well. I'm just used to it now, but I had to create the habit in the beginning. I worked out, I did the calculation of how many bottles of water I should be drinking a day, or would be good for me to be drinking a day. It goes on things like your weight and what the weather is like where you are, what your climate's like, um, how much movement you do throughout the day, things like that. But there are some handy little calculators you can find online that will give you an idea of how much water would be good for you to be drinking throughout the day. So I worked out that I needed to be drinking however many bottles it was. So what I did was I got all the bottles, and every morning I would fill all the bottles up that I needed to be drinking that day. And then that was a constant reminder, oh, I need to finish all those bottles by the end of the day. And so I definitely drank a lot more water doing that, knowing how much I needed to be having the visual cue of how many bottles I still needed to drink that day. That was really, really helpful for me. It may not be helpful for you, but it may be helpful for some people. So that's some ways that you can help remind yourself to drink water. It's really important to know that the quality of the water that you drink matters. Um, Sometimes that water that comes out of our tap isn't great, and so if at all possible, you want to be filtering your water in some way, especially if you're currently drinking tap water. Um, when you filter your water, it's going to reduce your exposure to things such as chlorine, lead, other things that you could find in this. There's a number of other things you could find in tap water. Um, And there's lots of different filters you can get. I'm not going to go into all of that here, but just know that there's lots of different filters that you can get to use at home, or you could get, bottled water. If it's in, you've got to be careful about if it's in plastic, what kind of plastic it's in. Otherwise, you're not really getting a better water source. If you can get bottled water that's in glass bottles, great. Or maybe some of those, BPA free and all of those things free bottles, then that's great. If at all possible, maybe that might be a stepping stone. You might start there, but then be looking into getting some kind of a water filter system. Just making sure that you're getting the best quality of water that you can, as well as the quantity. All right, now, some people struggle with drinking water. They don't like it. They think it's boring, whatever. I like it. I like drinking water. I like the way it makes me feel when I drink water. But you may not be the same. So, you can do things like adding lemon, adding cucumber, adding mint, adding some fresh fruits like apples and herbs, cinnamon, all kinds of things. You want to be, don't be going and adding processed things in there and sugars and stuff and artificial ingredients. You definitely want to use natural things. Otherwise, again, you're not getting a better quality, and it's all about quality, not just quantity. But find ways you can make ice cubes out of lemon juice and stuff like that, lime juice and orange juice, and add it to your water to give it a bit of a different taste. If you think that water is a bit boring. All right, and how can you recognize signs of dehydration? So, when you are dehydrated, you're going to be, some of the common signs can include being irritable, being tired, having headaches, having dry skin, and by recognizing these signals, it will help you to prioritize hydration and improve how you feel. But you don't want to get there, is the point. When you're starting to feel those symptoms, you're definitely already dehydrated. So it's really about making sure that you are drinking water before you get to those symptoms, which is what this is all about, helping you to remind yourself to drink water so that you don't feel that way. So pretty much that is it for this episode. As usual, there is a corresponding Be Me Bites episode for this, edition for this episode. It is Be Me Bites 33, Self-Care for Busy People, Part 2, Hydration Habits for Energy, Focus and Health. And as per usual, I'm offering an ethical bribe if you would like to subscribe to Be Me Bites. And basically what it means when you subscribe to Be Me Bites is just that you get the weekly newsletter that I send out every week straight to your inbox. You don't have to go looking for it. And then you never know what you might find in there. I mean, you can choose not to read it and delete it if it's something that, you're not interested in, but you just never know when you might see something that might be helpful for you. So if you subscribe, you get it straight to your inbox every week whenever it goes out, as well as any, not that I do them often, but if I do a special promotion or something, you'll be the first to know. And you also, when you subscribe, you can get an online copy of any one of my books free for subscribing. And when you do subscribe, you get an email that tells you how to claim that. So that's it for this episode. Remember to keep drinking. Hydrating is one of the quickest and easiest things you can do for better health. And until the next episode, keep taking one step at a time, and I'll see you then. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Remember to check out the show notes, and if you have any comments, feedback or suggestions, I'd love to hear them. If you've received value from this podcast, make sure to subscribe, and I'd love you to rate and review the show. Have a fabulous day.